Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Capital City Supporters Group channel. We got a very special video ahead of you because guess what? The season's here. After all the signings, after all the rumors, the season's here. And guess what? Fans will be allowed back in the stadium, which means season tickets are going back on sale. And you obviously have a lot of questions that want answered, and who better to answer them than Atletico Ottawa's Nick Ryan, Director of Ticketing. So he'll be joining us today to answer all your questions and many more. So Nick, come on.
Fire away all the questions you got. I'm ready to answer, and I'm sure there'll be many more once it's announced and released. So hopefully everything goes well with that, and I'm happy. I'm really just excited to talk to everyone. That's what's most exciting. Hear what the fans have been thinking.
For sure. All right, so the first question is, people who don't own credit cards, how will they be able to purchase season tickets?
That one is a little bit more of a difficult question. Currently, the box office at TD Place is closed, but I encourage anyone without a credit card who wants to book season tickets to reach out to me to book a call with me. And what we can do is we can put that seat that you want in your account, leave it not paid for the time being until we can set up a date and time where we can go to the box office at TD Place and process a payment. There may be some other ways we can do it, but that's most likely going to be the best way that we're going to be able to process anyone who doesn't have a credit card. So book your call. Don't worry about payment just yet. We'll get your seat reserved for you so that you have it and you're not, the last to choose once the box office opens. But we'll get down there and hopefully meet in person at a distance or wearing a mask or whatever we got to do behind the box office wall and get the payment through a debit terminal or via cash.
So for those who don't want to purchase tickets online, they can just book a phone call with you and then go from there?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, a lot of people want to take their time with a decision like this, right? So book a call with me and think about it, then book another call with me. The thing that's going to be a little challenging about this one is we don't have a ton of people on the phones ready to make calls and reach out proactively. So we're going to start with a call booking system so that in my calendar, I have everyone's phone number. The people who are really keen on getting tickets, get them all booked in first. And then we'll most likely have an online purchasing portal set up. So anyone who doesn't want to get on the phone and just wants to go online and pick a seat, they can do that. And then we'll get the ones sorted out that we need to get paid for in person.
So in the information I was posted earlier this week, it mentioned that all prices and perks are subject to change. So what happens if games can't be played?
So what we've done with the pricing, which it is available online, we'll speak to the pricing first. Everything's prorated down from a 15-game season to an 11-game season. The 11-game season is assuming we're going to be able to play 10 CPL games and then one Canadian Championship game at a minimum. Keep that in mind. We do hope to move on to the further rounds of that tournament. So when it comes to the amount of unsurety, for lack of a better term, around how many games we're going to play this year, the plan is to play 11. If for some reason we only end up playing 10, 9, 8, 7, the money would carry over to next year. So you wouldn't lose any value. The value is going to stay on your account as a credit, similar to the deposits, which are still sitting on everyone's account, whether you placed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deposits, that value is sitting on your account. So at the end of the season, you'll receive a message from me. Thank you for your support. We'll look to renew you for the 2022 season and bring you back as a season ticket holder. And if, God forbid, we don't play any games of the promised 11, then the money will be there waiting for you. The exact value broken down by game.
And the deposits from 2020, are they being carried over? And if so, what's the time frame of those deposit holders have to buy season tickets?
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to lose the value of your $50. If for some reason, not for some reason, there's many valid reasons why people may not want to come to games this year. So if any of those valid reasons come up and you don't want to come to games and you don't want to use your deposit this year, it is still going to sit on your account. That the money doesn't go anywhere. We encourage everyone to use it, whether it be buying a season seat or if we come out, if capacity allows us to come out with other packages as well as allows us to sell casual tickets. I think that's where people can take advantage of their $50 deposit as well. But it is highly, highly encouraged to book your season seat to guarantee, your attendance at that first game ever at TD Place, as well as the rest of the games and the Canadian Championship, and use your deposit towards that. We have season seats starting at $200 in the supporter section, and you put $50 towards that, or if you place two deposits, you put $100 towards that. It's not going to cost you very much to get a season seat. So, and with our youth pricing as well, to bring a kid, like we're $110 at the lowest price, and you don't even have to sit in the supporter section for that price. So, encourage everyone to buy a season ticket for sure, but you're not going to lose that value regardless of when or how you decide to come to games.
Jeff Hunt had previously indicated that ex-Fury season ticket holders will be able to keep their seats. Is that something that could happen in this season or in the future?
So this one as well, a bit of a tricky, convoluted answer to this question, but we don't have access to the contact info of every Fury season seat member. Based on Castle regulations through the government, OSAG is not technically allowed to share contact info of Fury season seat members with us. So that being said, if you made a deposit with us and you're a season seat member, ex-Fury season seat member, then we know what seat you have. We can get that info from OSAG because you allowed us to use your info, basically. So anyone who booked a deposit with us, I have your season seat location. They're all booked in. They're all reserved for you, as they were last season if we were able to play games with fans. So moving to this year, it is very likely that most of your season seats won't even be available for anyone to sit in based on the COVID seating map. I'll give you I can't show you the COVID seating map right now because it's not fully completed in my ticketing system just yet. Hopefully in the next day or two, since we're recording this just slightly before season seats go on sale. It's basically every other row with seats booked in, and there's only 2 pods per row. So if you can imagine how many rows there are on the south side and north side, in each row we're only putting in 8 people, and they're spaced out by 6 seats, and there's no one on the aisle because all the aisles, you got to be a couple seats in on the aisle so that no one's walking by each other. So all the stuff we've learned over the last few months and year and a half with social distancing rules, as of right now, are going to be in effect, of course. And when season seats go on sale, we need to go on sale based on those rules. Now, hopefully, come August or September, we get allowed to open up much more of the stadium, and we should be able to move people around, right? So maybe you're not sitting in our first game in August, but maybe by September, October, you're sitting in your former Fury seat. So key points there is this year, most likely not. You're not going to be sitting in your seat. Get you as close as possible. When it comes to next year, as long as things are what we call normal, then definitely you'll be able to sit in your Fury season seat. But if you didn't book a deposit with us, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to make sure that seat's reserved for you. So that's basically it.
So it's safe to assume that it's safe to assume there will be no general admission in this season.
This season, we did have to revert the supporter section away from a general admission. That was going to be the only general admission section we had. Initially, with the first communication of the season seats, there were some more general admission sections. When I came on to work for the team, I'm not a huge fan of general admission sections. I find people are usually more disappointed in their seats if they don't have one that's assigned. So I'm personally a big fan of assigned seats. So our stadium is big enough that if you don't like your assigned seat, you can usually move over a seat or two and find a seat. Hopefully we'll be selling the place out and you'll be jam-packed in that assigned seat. But for this year, no general admission seats as of yet. Like I said, rules can change in September and October, and maybe we're allowed to open it up and bring on a whole bunch more people in Section W, and that's definitely my hope. But when we're on sale, soon here, the Section W will be assigned and limited. In terms of the map, if I'm remembering right, I believe the first 6 rows on the south side are blocked off, like too close to the field. So south side is going to be seating starting back further. North side is far enough and high enough away from the field that we can start in the first row. But south side, if you're in the first 6 or 7 rows, for now, those seats are going to be blocked off.
Can fans buy individual tickets for games this season?
I hope so. Based on the full COVID map, so what you're seeing, what keeps popping up on the screen here with the season seats, that's what we're making available for season seat members only. We can expand beyond this. We can go to Upper South. We can go to Upper North. We can expand further on the north side. We can even expand further on the south side past Section N and Section W. So hopefully the demand is there and people are open to coming to events again, and we can open those areas. But it is going to be a bit of a cost benefit analysis for us on, can we guarantee we're going to sell these, because it does cost us more money to open up more areas. But that being said, I would say there's a very high probability that there will be casual seats available, and you will be able to not walk up on a game day, because I'm almost positive the box office is going to be completely closed on game days, as all tickets are going to be mobile tickets. So from there, you're going to have to buy it online, but most likely casual tickets will be available.
And is there anything in particular that the club wants the fans to do for the inaugural home match? I don't know, such as like wear all red or something, anything the club wishes?
That's a great question. I'm definitely open to suggestions. I don't think I've gotten that far along the road. I still haven't seen a date for this home match. I still haven't seen Mr. Ford announce that we're allowed to have a home match. So as soon as we get those details, I'm definitely open to many different suggestions. I mean, I want everyone in a jersey. Why don't we just go all buy the new jersey and everyone can be outfitted in that? But I think anyway, we can have marches to the game. I've heard some people talking about taking, boats along the canals of the game. Yeah, there you go. And anything that we can, show that even though we've been a team for a year but haven't had a game in TD Place in our home stadium, we haven't even played in front of our fans, that you got to think the players are just yearning for something like that connection with the fans. So I guarantee you, if everyone's wearing red at that first game and the players walk out, especially the new players and the ones who played for us last year, and were away for 6 months in PEI, stuck in a hotel, saw a sea of red or a sea of white or whatever it might be in the stands, it would be an extremely special moment. So I think those are conversations we can definitely have, and we should plan for.
And speaking about those players, the substitutes, will they be sitting in the stands similar like how they do in Europe, or what's going to happen there?
Honestly, couldn't tell you right now. I know the league has a set of COVID rules, and same with OSEG, and they're all ironing them out because they change day by day, week by week, minute by minute sometimes. So it remains to be seen. I highly doubt that players are going to be sitting in the south side stands with the fans.
It'll be great.
Yeah. But so it I don't know exactly what the players are going to be doing. I mean.
So that won't affect how the tickets and seat of fans will be spread out, right?
I don't think so. We're going with the COVID map that OSEG has provided, and they, I believe, submitted it to the Ontario government through the Red Blacks. So we're going based on more or less what the Red Blacks are submitting to the government, which I think is the best plan for our stadium. So that map, it wouldn't allow for players to be sitting in the first row of the south side.
So now moving on to the prices. Initially, Section W was $270, and now it's dropped to $200. How did you get to that figure?
Basically, I honestly, I should look it up, or maybe I have it in front of me here somewhere, but whatever the price was when we first announced back in February of 2020, didn't include taxes and fees. So then we updated that and added a little thing at the bottom saying all prices included taxes and fees. I find with tickets, for too long, everyone buying tickets, and I'm 29 years old, so I used to go to Sunrise Records to line up, and I was on the very tail end of that. Right before Sunrise Records closed, I was like the last guy buying tickets there. So I used to, do that, and there'd always be the surprise hidden fees, right? And there still is in a lot of cases, but now it's getting better where ticket fees are being all in and built into prices, and you really see that whole price and there's no surprises. So one of the first things I did when I started here, and we're now a year and 3 months later that I've been working with Atletico Ottawa, is making sure that the communication to the fans includes an all-in price, because it's the worst kind of phone call you can have, or the worst thing you can have, where I saw tickets advertised that as low as $16 to come to a game, or as low as $20, then you get there and it's actually $28 or $25, right? And I'm sure everyone listening to this has experienced that once or twice in their life. So I made the decision to switch the seating map and the pricing there to an all-in price and write that along the bottom. And then all we did was take that all-in price, divide it by 15, and then times it by 11 to get the prices you see now. So nothing's changed. We're keeping the price the same. Some of the benefits have changed just based on the season, but I'm sure that's your next question.
Yep, it actually is. Well, there's 11 games with the season tickets, but that one of those games is the Canadian Championship. So obviously we don't know if we're going to advance or not. So if we advance, what happens next in terms of buying tickets to the next games?
Well, the Canadian Championship is a tough one because they haven't really announced much on it. Obviously, the final from last year still has to be played. Unfortunate situation there for our friends in Ontario, Forge FC. But with the Canadian Championship, we're assuming at this point it could potentially be a one-legged affair as opposed to multiple legs home and away. So that leaves us in the position of, are we then only having one game, and is it hosted at TD Place, right? So we're hoping that game's hosted at TD Place. And then if we were to win and move on, of course, you'd get access to your same seat price TBD, to be honest. Most likely the same price that you're paying for your season seats will be offered. I think that's the right thing to do. But it depends. So your seat will definitely be reserved for you, and we'll probably have about a week for everyone to get that seat booked in before we play the next round. And I mean, hopefully this is the case. This would be a great story. If we can have 12 games this year in Ottawa, how awesome would that be?
I would love that for sure.
Yeah, so, and plus playoffs or whatever they're doing for the finals.
That's true, too. So that all applies with playoffs as well, right?
I don't think is the CPL. They haven't done playoffs yet, right? So it's always been like a final, spring, fall season final, and then we have island games. So who knows what the end of the season looks like this year, if they're just going to go with the more European model of a league champion, or are they going to do with some sort of playoff? So don't quote me on that. I have no idea if there's going to be playoffs.
Yeah. So basically any additional game that's not part of the 11 season ticket holders will have their seats reserved for for a certain amount of time for them to purchase them.
That's right. Yeah, you would definitely get a warning like, hey, last chance to book your ticket if you don't want it. And then I'm sure, like I said, we're fortunate enough to have a pretty big stadium. So if that seat's gone and you decide last minute you want to buy a ticket, you might not be in your seat, but come on, come one, come all.
So if other provinces don't open up, is there a chance that the full league is played in the Winnipeg bubble?
We're getting away from the ticketing questions here, Eddie.
I know. Yeah, that's all. I don't know what we don't have to answer it, but
no, honestly, I don't know. I think anything's possible at this point. If there's a situation where we can't have games at TD Place, there'll be your value will stay the same. If there's going to be alternate ways to either retain your value or spend your value, however you'd like to see it. So I'm just planning for season seats here. We're finally there, which is great. So hopefully that comes to fruition really soon here.
So how do people arrange sitting together? Do you have to buy tickets from like one account, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, again, a little harder question just because I'm not on the screen yet. Here we are. A little bit of a harder question because it really just remains to be seen on what the rules are going to be, what Doug Ford's going to come out with in terms of events and having fans. Right now, when we go on sale or when we're going on sale the next day here, what's going to happen is one account equals one bubble. So within your account, if you book anywhere from 1 to 6 or 7 or 8 seats, those seats are all going to be together and there's going to be no one around you. So I don't know exactly how OSEG or the security/ticket taking team is going to police, making sure you guys have the same address or that kind of thing. I'm hoping by that point we'll be allowed to interact with people outside of our household. And I mean, if we can't interact with people outside our household, I doubt they're going to allow us to have fans in the stands anyway. So for now, the way we're selling tickets is when you book on one account, the rest of the seats around you kind of get canceled, and another account will be the bubble down the row or in the row behind you or in the row in front of you. So it's going to be a little bit challenging and a different experience for booking seats, that's for sure.
And how does that affect like the One Soccer subscription or perks, especially if it's people from different households who are going to be part of that one bubble, but it's just one account buying tickets?
It's going to be a case-by-case basis. Right now, the One Soccer subscription, because you can be logged in on a few different computers at once, I'm clarifying with them how many exactly that is so I can make sure I provide the right information. But the plan is right now, and more of a blanket statement for this, is one Soccer subscription per account. So if you have, and by in turn, hopefully that would be one household, right? But we understand that doesn't work for everyone. It's going to be a case-by-case basis, and we'll work with everyone on that. The thing we don't want to run into is giving out a bunch of One Soccer codes and them not being redeemed, because there is a cost associated with it. And we're offering this as a, watch from home during the Winnipeg, and then come watch in the stadium, right? So you're not missing out on any of the season by booking this season seat package, this season seat membership. It's a membership for the whole season, and unfortunately, we can't see the first part of the season in person, but you're going to be able to watch it all for sure. And even if you're not in the stadium for all the games at TD Place, you're going to be able to watch them all. So when it comes to perks, there's a long list of them here, and they've changed slightly from what was originally on here, but I mean, everything's subject to change in a world like this. So when it comes to the premium stuff, which includes club seats, loges, and suites, there's a few different things that you won't get just booking from one in the grandstand, which includes parking. There's a food credit associated. So if you book a suite, there's a larger food credit. If you book a club seat, there's a smaller food credit. Club seat's $100 per seat for the season that you can use. With our club seats this year, we're not doing the buffet that you would have seen in the past with the Fury or the Red Blacks, but there is going to be in-seat service, so you can order your drinks and your food at your seat. Someone will come up to you and take that order. And then, of course, you get access to the Auto Club level, which is the bathrooms that are a lot nicer than your typical stadium bathroom, private bars up there. You have the indoor area in case you can club and weather, you can watch. The big one here is the One Soccer subscription. Something I really push to have in the package, with the first part of the season being in Winnipeg. That way everyone can watch the games. Really important to have all our fans tuned in to the first part of the season, the kickoff presented by Volkswagen in Winnipeg. Then, of course, you're going to get your reserve seat for the 11 matches. The discount on season seats, depending on where you sit, is up to 25%. Most are around 20%. I believe Section S is a slightly higher discount when you compare to the casual ticket. And cut me off anytime, Eddie, if you have any questions on any of these. Blanket, 10% off all merchandise. We are going to be offering a special price for the new jersey. So as you book a season seat, you'll see a code for the new jersey for booking a less expensive jersey. I'm not going to share the prices yet, just because It will be in the email, but there is a significant discount on the new jersey. Priority access to friendlies, playoff matches. That includes Canadian Championship. First access to any events we do, if we do away watch parties, anything like that. All season seat members and deposit holders will see the invite for that first. Payment plans, we'll talk about that in a second. I know that's something that you wanted to discuss. Your dedicated account representative. So there's me and there's one other person. His name's Adam. He's helping us out this year. So you'll hear from either one of us, and happy to email us with anything. If you want to buy tickets for, a friend or someone else in your household who wants to come to games, you'll get them at that same rate that you paid for your season tickets when you break it down game by game. If you want to book parking, it'll go to you first. This is what I'm working on, but I'm 99% sure we're going to get it, is pre-sale access to TD Place and Lansdowne events. They have a lot of great concerts, Red Blacks, there's many, many things going on at Lansdowne. So you'll get access to those before most. Lowest ticket package price. So we're never going to release a package that is cheaper per game than a season seat member will get. And then the auto renewal, basically similar to what all teams are doing now. Towards the end of the season, let's say October 1st, you'll receive an email. Hey, we're going to renew your package on November 1st. Give us a call if you don't want to be a season seat member anymore. And then you'll have the option to opt out of your season seat membership. And then if you don't want to, your package will be renewed and your seats will be renewed coming then. So basically, it's just to keep members engaged for the entire year. That way your One Soccer subscription will keep going. Everything will stay up to date there. So that's about it for the perks. There's a lot of stuff there. So if anyone has any questions, please reach out. And then when it comes to payment plans, Eddie, what do you want to know about payment plans?
Put me on the spot there.
No, I'll tell you what you need to know about payment plans. I'm just kidding. So typically in a regular year, we'll have a 12-month plan. So you can literally pay like a Netflix subscription. Obviously, we haven't been living a regular year for the last little while. So with this year and only 11 games and how inexpensive, in my mind, inexpensive, obviously inexpensive is different to everyone, but the season seat plans start fairly low for a full season seat membership. So we're not going to offer too many payment plans. Basically, you're going to have the option to pay in full at the time, or you can pay 50% at the time of purchase and then 50% at a later date, which will most likely be August 1st. And then so hopefully you'll be paid up before the season starts. But again, that's more of a blanket statement. If there's we're not going to turn anyone away. We want to appeal to everyone. If there's a reason you can't, or not even a reason, if you just tell me you can't make that certain payment schedule, I will make it work for you. That is a Nick Ryan guarantee, I guess we'll call it. I'm feeling good now. I'm warmed up. How long we're kind of from start to finish is when we launch, everyone will get an email with a recommendation to book a phone call with me. My calendar will be filled up with many, many phone calls over the next few months. And from there, I recommend you look and have a general idea of what you want to book / any questions you have for me. Then we'll go through, hopefully get you booked in for a season seat, and I can answer any of your questions. And then from there, you will get an email with a One Soccer code with a list of some of the benefits, with the information to access your account on eVenue. Anyone who's a Red Black season ticket holder who has bought tickets with OSEG before has probably been on their eVenue account. That is where your tickets will appear once they're available. Of course, you won't see any tickets right after you buy because we don't know what dates we're playing yet. And then from there, in there, like I said, will be your One Soccer code, some other stuff, some other details, and obviously my contact information. And that's basically going to be it. It's going to be email goes out for me. You book a call with me. I call you. You get an email after you book your tickets, and that includes your One Soccer code.
Perfect. And moving back to the stands, in terms of sanitary requirements, especially with masks, what are the rules there?
Don't know yet. I hope no masks. I hope full capacity. I hope everyone is keeping sanitized, and I'm sure there'll be many sanitizing stations, and seats will be cleaned, and the stadium will be cleaned before before games. That I know is definitely true. But I mean, worst case, we get allowed to go in. Everyone has to social distance in line while they're scanning their tickets, or there'll be a staggered entrance time. So you, Eddie, coming to the game for a 2:00 game, you need to enter between 1:30 and 1:45. Or you coming to the game, you need to enter at 1:50 to 2, something like that, and potentially at a specific entrance, right? So there could be some new instructions. It won't be just as easy as, I'm going to show up at 2:05 right after the national anthem and Zoom right in gate 1. You might need to plan your day a little different. And I mean, again, worst case, everyone's got to wear a mask throughout the game in the stands, right? Unless you're eating or drinking, like we're seeing at any bars and restaurants that are opening this week. So really depends. Hopefully none of those apply and everyone stays safe and everyone's vaccinated and all that's working and cases are low. But that's the worst case scenario in my opinion.
And you mentioned possible watch parties. Will there be any watch parties at the stadium or maybe some bars around Lansdowne Park?
The plan hasn't been set in place yet, as bars and restaurants are just allowed to open this week. I'm not going to be organizing many this year. We haven't planned anything at TD Place yet. Also, we don't have the schedule for the year yet. We may have it by the time this goes out. My colleague, who's the director of partnerships, he's going to work on planning some watch parties and building the relationships with the bars and restaurants in hopes that we can do some bigger stuff in the future with them. But I encourage supporter groups to put on a watch party. I'll definitely attend any watch parties that are there. And, if nothing pops up, the team will definitely do something. But right now I'm focusing on the season seat stuff and getting everyone in the stands. So watch party isn't my main concern at the moment, but I know it'll be on somewhere at a bar in Ottawa. Just remains to be seen.
Yeah. Well, you're done answering questions for now. We're done with questions. Hopefully the questions weren't too hard. But for anyone watching, if you have any more questions, the information has been rolling down below of Nick's contact. You can always contact the club. And if you need to, you can always contact Capital City and we can try to answer your questions. Nick, thank you for joining us. I can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait to go back into the stadium. But yeah, big thanks to you.
No, thanks for having us. Thanks to all you guys and the guys behind the scenes for organizing this and having me on. I think it's really helpful and very supportive for a supporter group to lay the information out for us, because sometimes emails don't get read, things get lost in translation. My phone's going to be booked for the next month, so you may not be able to reach me if you're trying to get questions. I encourage everyone to send me an email, nicolas.ryan@atleticoottawa.club. There it is right below me. So I want to talk to everyone. I'm ready to hear from everyone. I want us to be back in the stands. I think this team's going to be good this year. I think we got a really good chance. I mean, we have an advantage of our training we've been doing across the pond. So let's go get it, right? Let's be back in the stadium. Let's win this league, and let's show the rest of the league what everyone's been doing here for the last month and a half, or year and a half.
Time keeps overlapping,
molding into each other. But thanks, Eddie, and Capital City supporter groups, much appreciated. See you guys soon.
For sure. And make sure, everyone, if you guys want to stay up to date with all content related to Atletico Ottawa, make sure to visit our website, capitalcitysupporters.com. Make sure you join. It's free. You're going to get access to the Red Card Report, which is all the newsletter, access to all the articles, all our shows to do. And speaking about shows, we finally have our date finalized for the season preview. So stay tuned for that. But thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
The wait is finally over. 2021 Canadian Premier League season is just around the corner, starting in a bubble, ending in TD Place. We've got a preview coming up on Capital City Supporters Group. We're going to be looking at the upcoming season. We're going to have a fan panel as well, and potentially a couple of special guests. Stay tuned.